cycle. Yeah, I haven't done a live stream in quite some time, but I figured I wanted to get this news to you guys. So Stephen A. Smith is removed from ESPN's NBA Countdown. Surprise. That's according to a lot of the critics, a lot of fans of ESPN and watchers of ESPN watchers that watch NBA Countdown. So here's the reasons why, according to what I was reading in the New York Post. So ESPN is making changes to Stephen A. Smith on air duties. The worldwide leader announced this week that the new look NBA Countdown team will debut Wednesday. Smith is noticeably missing from the lineup, which includes the third-year host Malika Andrews, alongside ESPN senior writer Brian Windhorst, 2023 NBA champion head coach Michael Malone, and former NBA champion Kendrick Perkins as analysts. Additionally, ESPN senior NBA insider Shams Karina will continue to make regular appearances on the show. ESPN said the new look crew will lead pregame and halftime coverage for select on ESPN's game nights throughout the season. It comes as ESPN's added inside the NBA with TNT losing its coverage of the league. They celebrated the show starring Charles Barkley, Shaquille O'Neal, and Kenny Jet Smith, and Ernie Johnson appeared on many of the ESPN Big Games broadcasts. Will be a significant part of its coverage throughout the playoffs, NBA Finals. He has not publicly addressed the news. The First Take host was executive producer of the show and is making $21 million on his new deal with ESPN. So, comments to no avail. Stephen A. Smith is removed from ESPN NBA Countdown, which to my knowledge, I don't think it comes as a shock for me because there's a lot of reports that I heard from what he has been saying. Even last year's finals, when you had executive Bob Myers, Golden State Warriors front office leader, and then you had, of course, Stephen A. Smith, Kendrick Perkins, Malika Andrews, and some even gets on there, Michael Wilbon. And you saw a lot of biases in that NBA Finals coverage. Not even just that, even in the NBA playoffs coverage, because of the locations being in New York, the locations being in Oklahoma City. It was a lot of biases towards the bigger marketing teams, and there was a lot of biases towards the smaller market teams. Hey, how's it going? A lot of biases towards the larger market teams, and a lot of implicit biases and explicit biases, and a lot of confirmation bias, and complete ridicule against the smaller market teams. You saw that leading into it, including in Game 5 during the Thunder and the Pacers, which I did a lot of coverage on that this past year, where it was a lot of individuals that really had a lot of disdain towards Stephen A. Smith's comments referring to Tyrese Halliburton, and a lot of the comments referred to a lot of current other Pacer players. And then, of course, similar thing with Kendrick Perkins. You see a lot of biases towards what he's done, and he was never really that great of a star, not really that great of a player, regardless of the fact. And so I feel like ESPN is trying to clean house. The executives at ESPN, the leaders at ESPN right now, currently, who's currently doing it, is trying to clean house, trying to make wholesome changes. They're trying to really adapt to the standpoint of just meeting what the fans' requirements is and what the fans actually are saying and what they really want at the end of the day, because it's just a matter of time where you're going to really turn off the actual, fans that are really watching these games, the casual viewers, and the actual basketball novice, the real NBA fans, who at the end of the day come and support the teams and come and support the games and come and support, their players, not just to hear a bunch of rambling nonsense, on the air, and a bunch of implicit biases towards guys, including some guys when they were getting hurt, included a lot of biased comments about players getting lucky for the to get into that position in that corner. So that's what I feel like was really going on behind the scenes, and I really like ESPN did not want to renew a few guys' contracts to really be considered on NBA Countdown, and they had people in mind in line to really step into that forefront. And you saw a little bit of agendas playing too, because a lot of agendas is playing in this day and age too, not just in political spectrum, but in sports media as well, sports journalism as well, and telecommunications as well. A lot of biases, a lot of agendas being pulled, a lot of things being talked about, and really being frowned upon and gone to the masses, in my opinion. So that's just how I see it. And that's just the way I think it's gonna go at the end of the day. And I think it's gonna continue that. I think it's gonna continue being moving forward until there really is a wholesome change where they either gonna stop feeding it to the ecosystem, stop feeding it to the supply and demand, and really get back to what really is actually reported. Because I remember a time at ESPN where I was really watching called the Sports Reporters. There was the Scoot Jacksons of the world, John Saunders, Stuart Scott, Bill Simmons, Bob Ryan, etc., 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 that actually was doing reporting, that actually was doing journalism, actually was having notes down, that really was getting it down to the nitty-gritty of covering all sports, not just covering one or two or three particular sports topics that they're favorites or have a bias towards certain favorite teams. They actually were insider that was actually reported back when I was watching it. Back when I was watching ESPN, was getting inspired to do it and commit to journalism on my own end, and creation with this channel. So yes, getting back to the topic at hand with Stephen A. Smith, it's just a neck of the woods, a lot of the food chain, and really at the end of the day, something that they was trying to withhold and withstand in order to really gave a feeling of just having too many cards at play and too many hands at the table and too many hands at the cookie jar. In that sense, that's really pretty much the analogy I can honestly come up with. But we'll see moving forward how the new look of the lineup with Brian Windhorst, Michael Malone, Kendrick Perkins, and Malika Andrews will be more likely, more than not. Will it sustain longer? I probably highly doubt that it will stay. At the end of the day, I doubt it will highly stay at its forefront, at its crux. I highly doubt it will continue to be where it's at this point. But you never know. At the end of the day, it has a lot. We have a lot of things to go moving forward. So what is new about? It's the same it has been. Yeah, it is. Told BC. Yeah, it's definitely pretty much been the same pecking order like it always will be. They always will say the system is broken. It's never been broken. It's just people try to spend so much time thinking of how to fix the system where you don't never need to fix it because it's already been broke. It's already been broken, and it's already been pretty much shattered. But yeah, that's just my thoughts about this thing going on. Let me know if anybody else is watching. Let me know what you think about it down in the comment section below. As I will be getting on out of here, I got some more content to deliver to you guys. Yeah, I apologize. I've been sick for the past few days, so that's why I haven't been on the live stream. He said Malika Andrews, she runs the network. She will overtalk former NBA players and who no more interrupt Whitney. Well, yeah, told BC they want somebody who is they want a black woman in there, a pretty face, or somebody to look good on camera, and that thinks that they know what they talk about. That thinks that they know what they're talking about. That's really what it is. They really want somebody who's a pretty face, who has a really good looks and charm and attraction, but they don't know anything about the sport and anything about it at hand. There have been women journalists in the past. I was getting ready to say the Jackie McMullins of the world. And then people that's actually in news media, like CBS, Diane Sawyers. There have been women reporters and anchors and journalists in the past, but the problem is nowadays you have people that have these sort of agendas and have these sort of affiliations with other outlets, and because of the branding and the endorsement, they feel like they have a better way of knowing the player movements and the player recruiting than the actual recruiters and the actual players themselves. Oh, because they get an interview or an exclusive, they talk to these guys. Oh, they think they know a lot about them because they go with their job. No, that's not always the case. But yeah, that's just my thoughts about this whole thing. I appreciate the people commenting, and thank you, Toad. I will be getting better pretty soon. I'm feeling a lot better than I was the past few days. So yeah, just my allergies, but thank you, appreciate that, and I appreciate Saba, everybody joining the chat. So yeah, I'm out of here. I got some more content for delivered to you guys. So don't go away. I will be right back.